Welcome back to Your World, Thursday edition, Trendy Thursday. And the first hour, we had young dreamers in studio who even showcased what they're going to be performing on Monday. I'm really excited to see what that looks like. Now, in the second hour, we talk about something even more inspirational, aspirational as well, all that put together. Now, imagine failing 40 times in businesses, in ideas, in dreams. 40 times. Kwanza, by the time unafika ya tano, aren't you already tired? But imagine 1, 2, 3, 40 times, and then to go ahead and build yourself $1 million life. Our guest today did not just succeed. Ali beat failure. Aka decide akuna kitu itanieka chini, you know. But they went ahead to make the best out of those failures. They went ahead to make sure that they succeeded. They mastered it, absolutely. They did that thing where we most of the time tunakanga tunajiambia jameni mimi nitaweza, will I be able to do it? But they mastered it, and they did not just master it, because what they did is they put it in a book. And it wasn't just for themselves, it's for everybody else who's feeling, I am stuck, I don't know what to do, maybe I've fallen so many times, can I pick myself up? The man we're talking about today is Ndegwa Gakinya, who's written a book about how he failed in 40 businesses, but it became the training ground for $1 million life. The man who refused to fail is in studio with me. Ndegwa, karibu sana to the studio.
Wow, thank you so much.
Hey,
for being here.
40 times.
Na bado.
No. Has Jaisha 40 ndio uliacha kukauntia?
40 ndio kwanza nimepause kuhesabu. But I want to believe life is a continuity of just doing, actioning and reflection.
Yes.
So nikisema na bado,
yeah.
So we still have the room for improvement is the largest room.
It's still there. That's so true.
Yes.
But when you talk about 40 businesses, 40 dreams, 40 ideas, because ideas don't just come from out of nowhere.
Yes.
We obsess over them, we build them, we create life out of that idea. And inaturudisha chini. Then that does not work. Then another one doesn't work. You've done everything. Do you remember your very first one, Ndegwa?
Wow, it's a while back.
Yeah.
Nimekula miaka.
I mean, it's 40 businesses. Then it can be a span of 2 years.
It probably is as long as my number of years would put it.
Yes.
So it is 40 business for a 40-something year old.
Oh, year old,
yes.
Yes.
About 43, 44 right now.
Yeah.
Yes, it's been quite a journey.
Yeah.
The first idea, the first business I would want to say was being sent for the errand boy. The errand person. That is a training ground for all of this. If I can look back at it,
yes.
That is a training ground. There's a time to say, come here, go there.
Yes. Niletee ile njoo hapa nipeleke. Kuna barua hapa peleka sijui wapi.
Yes. Because I grew up in a business family.
Yes.
So my folks were both of them were in biashara. My mom was a tailor. My old man was a salesperson.
Yes.
And that is how I got myself into the business world.
So when you talk about 8 to 5 employment, a desk and all of that, did you try that?
20 years later, yes, I did try.
Yes.
It is part of the journey.
Yes.
Because ideally, there's a certain way that we're all expected to do. So they go to school, get good grades, pass the different levels. I walked that path, all the way to the university. So after the university, you still keep on, there's the hope that we all have. I've just come from my graduation from my daughter,
yes,
who's graduating from PP2 to grade 1.
Yes.
And they were also very happy. And then when they were being asked, what they would want to be, there were so many doctors, there were so many pilots, there were so many enforcement officers, there was the army, there was the police. So that is who we are. That is what I have seen.
Yeah. That
is the pathway that is out there. And I did try after my university level. I got an employment. I was employed for about 4 years as a graduate management trainee in one of my companies here in Nairobi, and Well, it is in the book. It didn't pan out as I thought it would be. Because I want to believe that all of us have that innate gift that we are all gifted in one way or another. And we could run away as much as possible from it, but eventually it catches up.
Yes.
Both willingly or unwillingly.
Unwillingly, yeah.
So for me, I would want to say, it got me unwillingly. Because I had how do you put it? I'd aligned myself to get to be a corporate titan. I get into the C-suite. Because as a management trainee,
yes,
the pathway is very clear. You do get into the entry-level, manager level. After the entry levels, then you get into now starting development manager, all the way to C-suite. So that was the pathway that was set out. And yes, I did enjoy it, but destiny has a way of pulling someone back into the course,
yes,
into the path that they have been channeled to.
Okay.
Yes.
What kind of businesses would you say you tried? You know, I could mention a few kwa sababu mbao ni kitu unaelewana nayo kabisa. Mbao.
Yes.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks back when I was sharing with some of my friends and they were telling me, where are those 40 businesses at?
Yes.
And we started writing them down because I did this. There are two sections to this. There's the part where I did the book, right now when the man who refused to fail. And there's a point in life when I was reviewing, I was doing the reflection point that I have come this far. This was in at around 2017, 2018 period. It was a very dark period in my life when things seems to have come to a standstill. There was no way. Moving forward was seemingly quite hard. I just lost an investment that I had done, partnered with some partners who just decided that I was no longer required in the part of the business. And when I fell off, picking myself up again was quite a momentous time. So I sat down, I got a book came to my rescue.
Okay.
Yes. A book by one of our also a local author, Anthony Gitonga, Discover Your Greatness. That was the title of the book.
Okay.
So I looked at this. The title of the book is always an enticing factor into opening. They say, what do they say about don't judge a book by its cover?
No. We are judging this one. This one I want to, this you want to read. You want to read this one for sure.
Yes. So the fact that I knew there's always a burning fire inside myself that I am made for more. I aspire to get more. So that book, when I was sat down and I was going through the pages, it asked me to write down, just list down the couple of things that you have attempted so far.
Yes.
So this is in and out of 2017. So I wrote them down, what worked, what didn't work, what started and failed. And I listed them down. By the time I was done, like, well, I didn't even actually realize there were 40.
Wow.
So just writing them down and trying to figure out what am I really good at.
Yes.
Figured a couple of things. One is that I'm a people's person.
Okay.
I do enjoy working around with people, developing teams, and also just sharing ideas to develop and so that they come up with a concept. Two, also sales is something that I've done. Like I said, growing up in a business, my folks were engaged in the retail business of uniform and textiles. So that ensured that I was always busy all my holidays selling uniforms to my fellow students and people that were ahead of me, both in secondary, primary, all the way from nursery. So I've walked that path of education. The 844 system, I have actually participated and supported it across board. So yeah, so the 40 was just writing it down and trying to figure out what exactly am I good at, and the discovery part, which happened to be the most important part of this. Because it works like, the principle would be discover, develop, deploy.
Yes.
That is principally what one ideally should do. So at 40 businesses, I was listing from selling, hawking onions. You
hooked onions?
Yes. To doing printing business.
Yes.
To nowadays they call it how you buy from where I'm there's a ranch where we went and bought cattle. The feedlots.
Yes.
One thing or another, they're doing feedlots.
Yes.
So we got some booked some cattle that you're supposed to fatten and sell off into the butcher business. We've gone to buy.
Oh my goodness! But I'm wondering where the grit comes from. you know, when this has failed, because most of the times we put ourselves down, and I don't know if it's at this point, because it looks like it happened a bit later, where you had to list down and understand what worked, what did not work. But what would you say as a person kept motivating you to not give up? Iyo basi mekatana yeka pale chini, I will not pitch a tent there.
Yes.
I will wake up and go look for something else to do.
Again, the education system was quite good to myself and very fair. That when we got in and we started doing just the basics of just education, it allowed us to open. I would bet that we are looking at a similar inflection point where right now we are talking about the knowledge, the position of Internet of Things, the knowledge age. When we were doing, when we were getting into the system, and it was about books and books. So books were offering an opportunity to view what would be and what can be.
Yes.
I was fortunate enough that I had the newspapers, books were coming my way. I was looking back as reviewing the books that we were reading back then. There was the famous five, the Hardy Boys,
Nancy
Drews. So there was a whole lot of books that were coming and information that was coming my way.
Yes.
And I was quite curious because I happened to be quite a curious kid. Where we used to live, I was just reflecting on this some other day, we used to live in a garage setup. So there were some houses inside the middle of town and we had a garage. So I happened to be that naughty child who wanted to know what is happening inside the cars, and we would go in, we would try to fix the and we would get the keys and we would gurumisha. We didn't even know how to drive. The smacking I got off from that. But it was still training, and now you can laugh about it. But then, so the opportunity to see what could be came off books for me.
Yes. Okay. And being able to understand that what I am going through, you know, because it could just be for you, but then you stopped. I think, was it a way of giving back the same way you learned from other books that helped you understand where your journey is at and what are the possibilities ahead, that you decided to put all of that in a book to help probably those who come behind you, after you, or people who are in a stage where they're struggling to understand what's really happening in my life right now?
Good question there. And the point, because I split my journey so far into 3 stages. So there's the development stage, there's the doing stage, and there's the sharing stage. So this is the sharing stage. And when we speak about the book came off a conversation that was had with one of my mentors. And was sharing that having gone through whatever you have experienced, you need to put it somewhere, you need to put it down in a book such that you can be able to share. It is also a review, sort of a pit stop where you review and see what you have done and how can you be able to, what are the learnings, what are the lessons that are there. And whilst I was looking at it, I realized that books have actually been a very firm foundation for myself so far up to this particular level. So the conversation started off and it was, tell us about your story.
Yes.
A very common
question.
And an intro in terms of having conversation. And it ended up being a whole book. How did that come about? The publishing company that I work with, African Legend Publisher, they offered to have a few Zoom sessions about me telling my story and us having a conversation around the book. And when we were doing the conversation and it was being taped and they were transcribing technology, and they were sharing about, and then we'd put it, and then you'd get transcribed notes, and then chapters, and then you'd have reviews and have conversation around it. It turned up to be the book that we actually have a look at right now. So it is, I would say, there's a quote that is by one of the revered authors, earlier authors, Chinua Achebe, that says that until we start learning to write our own stories, then we will continuously be exposed to what other people are talking about us. And I feel honored that I've had an opportunity to put down whatever I have experiences. Because my particular journey is not very unique to myself.
Yeah.
It is a journey for a lot of us.
Yeah.
A lot of us, Lord, that were told, go to school. When you talk about us, I'm talking about both millennials, Gen Zs.
Yes. And
I'm
the
seeing you
Lords.
smile like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Such that we have been implanted with that ability, that skill, that talent that we bring forth to the world, and we have been offered the opportunity to go to school and be able now to nurture it and develop it. Now the question is, how are we impacting on our environment, both from a family level, from a society level, even to the wider community, before we translate to the country and also to the larger continent that we are in.
Oh wow!
Yes.
And this is your gift.
Yes.
Because it really is a gift. It really is a gift because you get very vulnerable in this book. You get to share what you learned. And I don't know what that point was where you realized that this, whatever I am going through right now, the things that I have failed in, I'm not going to look at them like that. It will be probably things that I have learned. And maybe my question would be, what would be the thing that changed at the end when you finally succeeded? What did you, what all the lessons, what did they accumulate to be like, aha, it has taken 40 careers, but now where I'm at, now I know. Formula ni X plus Y is equals A to the square of 3.
Wow, fantastic, fantastic. It is still I'm still a student of the...
Oh, yeah.
Of the world,
yes,
and the environment that I'm in, and my sharings are not, I would say, complete. It is a pit stop, like I mentioned earlier,
yes,
up to the point where I've gotten to. And having gone through that, and also being work, because one of the things that I have observed, even from sharing and also having this particular journey, is that the dream, there are so many dreamers out here.
That's true.
And we are all pursuing the same thing.
Yeah.
When you talk about failure,
yes,
and allow me to go back to the initial point of where the book started off.
Yes.
The first time the title of the book, The Man Who Refused to Fail, came on, it left me quite vulnerable in terms of having to share the failures that I had experienced.
Nobody wants to share that.
Because entrepreneurship and business as it is set up takes you through the full 360 degrees of human emotions, from being happy to being sad and depressed, to being angry, to being smiling, to being so happy. All the 360 degrees, it is one journey that is going to take you through the entire pathway. To speak to failure, when we first of all stood out, I was quite unsure that this is exactly what I want to share. I want to share the successes. I want to share.
Yeah, this is what is working, guys.
This is what is working. I want to share the big cars. I want to share the big mansions. I want to share
the $1 million life. That is where it's at. History. But then I'm going to come back to that we just understand how you even made peace with that. But the question that we are asking all of you this morning, based on the conversation we are having with Ndegwa in studio this morning, is if failure is the best teacher, what has it taught you about yourself? Welcome back to Your World Thursday edition, the second hour. We are talking about a man who refused to fail and all the things that he did. 40 businesses, dreams, ideas, put in a book, a memoir, to help you understand that it's not over until it is over. And you don't have to give in into that, because he did not, and he shares that with all of us today. And the question that we are asking you today is, if failure is the best teacher, what has it taught you about yourself? If failure is the best teacher, what has it taught you about yourself? NTV Kenya on all our social media platforms. Our WhatsApp line is also open. Simu unaweza tupigia pia, tutaipokea kwa sababu Ndegwa basi yuko hapa kujibu maswali yako. All right? And just before I ask my question, I had asked if you'd like to read for us an excerpt from maybe your favorite bit of the book, and then you'll tell us why you chose that particular one. Probably a small intro.
Well, the entire book is my favorite.
Good answer. Great answer.
But in terms of answering, even to answer to the question of what you've asked of the day,
yes,
I beg to offer that failure is not the opposite of success. It is actually part and parcel
of success.
Of success.
Yes.
So my favorite one that I would actually pick out, because when the dots connect, becomes serendipity. Which is on chapter 3.
Yes.
And it's something, when I look back at it, when the dots now connect is when I can actually speak about that there was channeled towards a journey and a destination.
Yes.
And I pray that I continue getting the illumination to be able to walk that path for the purpose for which I was placed here, and to be able to reach out to as many people as possible who will also be feeling that they have the urge and the nudge to get into something. They want to share their skills and talents with the world, and they have that particular self-doubt that will actually tell them, am I really good at this? Is it something that I really want to do? And assure them that if they continue doing it and they continue introspecting, at one point or another it will make sense. Right now it might be the darkest part of the journey. 2017 for me was quite a dark party. Yeah. It is actually alludes to the part when you're asking me about betrayal.
Yes.
But because at that particular point I figured that I had lost everything. I needed to start from scratch.
Yeah.
I had given, entrepreneurship and business world actually takes out a lot in terms of both mentally, physically, financially, emotionally.
Everything.
It takes out, and when you look back at it, at that particular point when it is darkest, you wonder, is it worth it all? And then come here now, we are in the year of our Lord 2025.
Yes.
It makes sense. Right now when I look back at it, I figure I can actually confidently say that failure is not the opposite of success, but it is part of the journey to success.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, let's have serendipity.
Serendipity.
Yes.
You know where I come from, Kokomulima. There's a bit of a challenge with the R's and the...
You did well. It's written. That's all that matters. Umeyandika vizuri.
So I've had to check twice. What am I reading? And
oh,
so serendipity is what the world calls luck. But the wise know it is more than that. It's not random. It is the divine intersection of preparation and timing, where purpose and opportunity meet in disguise. Serendipity doesn't visit the idle, it visits the moving. It rewards the ones who stayed ready, even when nothing seemed to be working. You don't stumble into greatness by accident. You align your habits, sharpen your instincts, and position your life in such a way that when the door opens, even unexpectedly, you don't hesitate. You walk through it, you walk through it. Serendipity is the reward of faith without sight and discipline meeting destiny.
Oof, that is deep.
It's deep.
It's very, very deep, but it's very, very clear that when you're in this space, then you understand clearly why I'm here and now.
Yes.
And what probably has led to this particular moment. It's very deep. And it continues to say serendipity in its simplest forms means a fortunate accident, the unexpected alignment of events that work in one's favor. It suggests some things just happen by chance, but I don't fully agree. Nothing in life has been purely accidental, which is true. You need to be ready for when the opportunity comes, then you're able to tap into it.
Yes, even this interview, when it happened,
yes.
It was unexpected.
It was very unexpected. So you talked about betrayal, and you talk about it clearly in execution is everything. Just before I ask my question, I just want to read a little bit, and it says, no one stuck around, no one called to check in. I was alone, and the worst part was that I was drowning in debt. I owed suppliers money, I owed family money, I had no income to support myself. It was without a doubt one of the most stressful moments of my life. And then it goes on, I'm just going to skip all the way, when everything collapsed with no money, no products, no business, and the mountains of debt he took charge. Together, that is your business partner. But then you continue to say, do not mix friendship with business. Always keep a clear separation between your personal finances and business funds. Number 3, have a proper flexible business plan. When you talk about betrayal and, you know, being let down by people around you, and how people around you, people who hurt you, are definitely people you care about, people who you've let into your space. Mtu anatembea huko nje probably will not hurt you because they really have nothing on you.
Yes.
But when you talk about mixing friendship with business, what are some of the highlights, and what would be the lesson for anyone who's probably trying or thinking of getting into that kind of space with someone who's pretty close to them?
It's quite poignant when you read it as such as you have read.
Yes.
And it takes me back to a point in that when I was looking back at the journey that got me to that particular point to note this down and share the experience. It was a heartful experience, I must say. It was not something that I had self-doubt in terms of, do I really want to put this in a book? Do I want to share?
Yeah.
But I also noted that there are three opportunities in which one can be able now to come up with a product and be able to even get into the marketplace. One is you can actually come up with an original idea, put it to the market, and push it. This is where developers are coming in. This is where the technologists are coming, and they can be able to come conceptualize something and actually very unique. M-Pesa is unique to our country. We have our uniqueness that we value and we appreciate. There is one that you can actually partner with others. This is where now you collaborate. Everybody brings their strengths and you actually build something, and you're able not to work together as a community, as a persons. The third one would be that you actually copy, paste, and just keep on pushing. Because it is also one element that we can never get enough of whatever is already in the marketplace. And it's an easy entry point of getting into the business world. So I got myself into a partnership, a gentleman that I highly regarded, and we were friends. So you are right when you pointed out that people who do not have relationship with cannot hurt you. Yeah. But again, you also have to put your heart into the ring and be able to vulnerable to having these opportunities. So a friend called me up. We were speaking. We had done, because we had known each other since childhood or early young age, and he was getting into business. His business was growing, and he was looking at getting to scale up the business. He required a particular skill set that he felt I had. Yeah. This was sales. Again, when you review back at it, and putting operations into structure, putting structures into place. So when he called me, we sat down, we shook hands, and we agreed how to do this business. And by that, now that was in around 2013, 2014, gave it 4 or 5 years up to 2017, working 18 hours a day plus, putting all the modalities that needed required to be, and we were doing well, we were growing. It was making waves. Up to the point when it became that I was no longer necessary to the ecosystem. Yeah. And for a moment, I thought I was the ecosystem. Yes. Then I realized that I was not. I was just but a part of the ecosystem. Yeah. And we went down through that now valley of now finding out who actually, where do you stand, how do you go about it. And the premise of our business was based on a handshake and a conversation that we had, the two of us, that you can actually say that this is what we agreed to. Yeah.
Lo and behold.
It is not.
There are no contracts. We trust each other. We are boys. Oh.
When I look back at it, it was a good learning opportunity, because I also figure out, even apart from the bigger picture, even in our normal interactions, friends, because the ways of raising funds are normally money, funds to get into business. A good friend said, he talked about is it the 3 F's? Friends, family, and the
funds.
There are no funds.
There's no funds.
There are no funds. The people who have nothing better to do with their money are the 3rd F's that contribute.
Okay.
So friends, family, and fools.
Yes.
So and that particular opportunity is because when you're bootstrapping or you're also getting into business and you do not have a cash flow that you can actually show the bank, so you are talking to both the 3 F's. So I've had interactions where you have been lent a soft loan.
Yes.
But you've been let a soft loan on what basis?
Uh-huh.
Is there any transaction? Can anybody attest to the fact that you are given?
Yeah.
Or do you start now having to have that whole so to save the relationship and the friendship, and just to set boundaries, have something that is just drafted in and written. Because it will save us a lot of agony in terms of pushing back, and also somebody feeling that they have been shortchanged. So have it down, list it so that it is well acknowledged. So back to the business. At that particular point, when now the business went, we went separate ways, I was left empty-handed, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Such that the business has grown.
Yes.
The structures are in place.
Yes.
Now it is running. But we are not part of the process. Now you figure yourself out.
Yeah.
You are no longer required here.
You're not needed here.
And I figured this was my friend, but the friendship also had been eroded by the fact that you know, they say when you get money, money exposes who you are.
It does.
It
We
is not
see
about
you clearly. If we were doubting it, but then again, that was also a learning curve for you, because there's no way Ndegwa would get into that kind of partnership again, where there are no contracts and stuff like that. Yes, I probably will do business with a family or friends or something like that, but then now with proper structures.
For sure.
You talk about mentorship as key. You talk about faith as well.
Yes.
What role did those two play in your journey of, not giving up and keep fighting, even putting this book together?
Serendipity.
Yeah.
Back to it.
That is it. Yes.
The three things that I would actually point that have factored majorly for myself.
Yeah.
The first point would be you have to be authentic to yourself. When I was writing down that list, I had to be honest.
Yeah.
To myself, and even when I was putting it down, am I being authentic? And is this what I actually wanted to do?
Yes.
So you list them down. You are authentic. I discovered you have to be anchored on a purpose. Even when you're getting into the business world, it is very crucial that you are anchored somewhere, such that you are not just acquiring both the provisions and items and shiny big things, but you also anchored on something, and that thing for me has been faith. It has allowed me to be anchored on a firm foundation that has withered all an assortment of trials and tribulations, and that is faith for me. When now you go, the second point would be, once you have listed them down,
yes,
and now you are looking at how do I, you pick out the things that you ought to pursue, or your destiny will stand out. How do you develop it?
Yeah.
Because you have discovered it, how do you develop it? Remember, this goes back to the book that I read, Made for Greatness. I would beg to say that the principles both of wealth, of making money and getting into business, and also of life as set out, do not change primarily. It is incumbent upon one person just to go and figure them out. How do they make work around myself? Because we are all in different areas.
Yes.
They are farmers, they are entrepreneurs,
yeah,
they are academicians,
yes,
they are journalists.
Yeah.
We all have different skill sets.
Yeah.
The question is, how do you use the principles in and around to make sure to give us, so we can be able to deliver something to this world that we've all been given and granted time on. So the third one is, how do you deploy it?
Yes.
Well, being here is part of my deployation.
Yes.
Allow me just to say that, because it is sharing such that one does not need to make the same mistakes that I did. I have done over a span of 20 years, that it is possible for us to be able to get into a book and read and delve into it. Books allowed me to get into spaces that I could just actually figure and imagine. When I was watching and I was reading the cartoon Tintin Goes to the World, it was taking me to Beijing. It was taking me to different parts of the world.
Different parts of the world, yes.
And you would see the favorite one was Tintin and the Tibetan. I think somewhere they were talking about they were going to look for the Yeti, seeing big footprints. I've never been there. I've not been there yet, but it was allowing me opportunity to get into there. So how do you deploy this?
Yes.
What you have been offered? I think that would primarily be based on a firm foundation that will weather all the challenges.
Storms, yes.
Because for sure, so long as you are in the business world and in whatever pursuit that you are going after,
yes,
there will always be the challenges that are going to come.
There will always be challenges. That's true.
What requires is what are your foundations that would allow.
Yeah.
Because the family is also a key aspect for me. It has actually played a very firm foundation.
Yeah.
The opportunities that have been accorded, I feel very quite privileged that they are able to give to me and the opportunities. I made mistakes also in terms of finding out and developing myself.
Yes.
Because you do not get to that particular point where there's a whole lot of, I would call it transformation. And transformation is key. Because doing one thing, pursuing it, and affirming that this is actually what you need,
yes,
it will require a whole transformation journey that one would need to go. And that part is now the failures that are in these learnings. You go, you hit a brick wall, you sell chicken, it does not work out. You sell eggs, it does not work out.
Yes.
You sell milk, it does not work. You sell yogurt.
Yes.
So because it is allowing you now to be able now to engage and to think around in my area. What gaps are those that I can be able to fill?
I'd like to talk about ideas and execution before we come to the end of this. We get very excited with the ideas that we have, and sometimes we get lost in that excitement and we see the idea as the full picture. But then there's a very important bit, which is execution. And would you say in your journey, you probably learned that the hard way? That all these brilliant ideas that you had, but then ikikuja ni execute probably is where most people who are in business will probably fail-ish.
The far that I have come,
yes,
I've come through both partnerships, learning opportunities, mentorships. You had alluded to that earlier.
Yeah.
And getting ideas. I would pose right now, it is the easiest point of the journey.
Yes.
Getting the idea.
Yes.
And why do I say? Because the components, as you, when you get an idea, is that you have to make it proof of concept.
Yeah.
What is the minimum viable entry points that you can actually pursue from your idea?
Yeah.
It takes a lot of courage, and it will also take a lot of audacity to be able now to push and to already by just sharing the idea that this is exactly what I want to. Because the first point and what will automatically happen is a lot of times you'll get a lot of resistance.
Yes.
You'll be dismissed.
Yeah.
And you'll be laughed at, for lack of a better word. But if you pursue the idea, and you actually, now you continue building on the processes and on what feedback you're getting.
Yes.
Because again, feedback is also another mechanism of learning and being developing oneself and the idea. Because coming off from yourself, you have collaborations, you have mentors, you have a community that you walk this particular journey with.
Yeah.
It will allow you now to be able now to see, is my idea actually something that can work?
Can work or not, yes.
Or not.
Yeah.
That would be the simplest way that can be able to define
put it, yeah.
The idea. Because at the end of the day, there are no new ideas.
That's true.
It is all about execution.
Yes.
And the people that you work with and how far you have deployed that idea that you have put in there.
Yes. Absolutely. So I know our time is about to end, but there's a bit of feedback on the question that we have, or the question of the day today. And the question is, if failure is the best teacher, what has it taught you about yourself? If failure is the best teacher, what has it taught you about yourself? And on Facebook, as a man, don't fear starting again. This is Absalom Ogutu. As a man, don't fear starting again. Bequeath yourself to your purpose. Focus even with a zero start. Pursue it in a different way, because life is a constant class with different examinations where you set exam mark, to award yourself and promote yourself. Life is like a jungle. You must fight to live. Do not blame others for your bottlenecks. Learn to be a positive soldier. Let's not rest. Don't surrender. Suicidal thoughts are not welcome here. I don't know. Lazy people are not welcome here. And don't regret. Don't blame others. Don't shout. Observe, nod, and make decisions. Listen to advices, but choose what suits you. In the end, life is singular, not plural. I have to say that slowly. Otherwise, failure made me discover that the highest inhibitor to success lies within me. Using past failures to reconstruct new strengths for future success is the only strategy I use to overcome. That is Shadrach Mugo Gituko. Joston Kiplagat says there's always a hidden legend that reads into every situation that is available. The beauty of the fall is not when you've fallen, but when you've gathered muscles and risen again. Murithi Emmanuel. The Bible says that the glory of the latter church shall be greater than the former. The glory of the risen man is greater than the previous. Murithi continues to say, you are as strong as you think you are until something proves to you that you are frail. I do not believe in failure. I believe in achieving little flowing step by step. Thank you so much, Elijah Omwanda, for that and for all your feedback on this. Pretty much of that going in there. But Ndegwa, it says masterclass in entrepreneurship. That means everything that we've talked about today is in here and so much more, because we didn't have time to probably go into the nitty-gritties of everything that is in here. But if someone is looking to get it, what would be the thing that you would tell them they would definitely get from this? Like, look out for this because this will change your life. What would that be in this book?
If failure is part of the success,
yes,
learning to be adaptable and taking the circumstances and interpreting them as the boost that you need to get into the next level,
yes,
is the key that I would propose for one to drive them to the next level. I love the feedback that has been shared.
Yes.
Clearly, there's a huge community of people that have refused to fail.
Yeah.
I always share that when I did this book was to give a voice to a lot of entrepreneurs. Yeah. I've worked in and around the Nairobi CBD, all the way from River Road to Accra, Du Bois, coming all the way to Moya Avenue, Kimathi Street, all the way now to Nation Center building.
Yes.
Moving all the way up past the highway, all the way up to Kilimani Karen area.
Yes.
And the one thing that I have seen is the number of resilient entrepreneurs out there in the field that require just that sound of, you can do it, keep on keeping on. And when you ask about that one thing, that being able to take in the circumstances and adapt to them would be my one key area that I would share. And I would propose that it is a key that unlocks a lot of many doors. Absolutely.
And where can people get this book? How much is it going for?
Well, the book is available across the bookstores here. Primarily, we're working with the Nuria bookstore. It's also available on our platform, Ndegwa Gakinya, www.ndegwakenya.com. And we are also we are keeping on sharing this and looking for opportunities to be able now to spread the gospel of the good news of refusing to fail.
Absolutely.
We are going to Nyeri. We'll be in Nyeri on the 7th of November at the Nyeri Golf Club.
Yes.
We'll be having a session on a limitless book tour with my publishing company, which is called the African Legend Publisher, where we continue giving these stories, giving opportunities and a platform for people to tell their story in their language, in their way, such that
Okay.
They can connect the community and the people that will be there.
Absolutely.
Again, we're also available on both LinkedIn and Ndegwa Gakinya.
Okay.
Instagram on _ndegwagakinya.com and also Facebook _Ndegwa Gakinya.
All right.
And we'll be glad to get in touch and also to keep yes.
Asante sana for that. Our time is really, really up. Thank you so much for coming through. I recommend, I highly, highly recommend. I highly, highly do recommend Reframe Failure as Feedback, Not Defeat, Leverage Mentorship and Building Unshakable Resilience, Scale Wisely, Avoiding the Traps of Reckless Growth, Navigate Modern Entrepreneurship with AI, Digital Tools, and Timeless Principles. All of that in here. Thank you so much for tuning in today. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place. I've been your host, Mikali Mary. Adios.